Welcome to the College Football Prediction Roundtable, presented here live on the Bleacher Report app, where we give you all of our predictions while also making sound effects for our favorite musical artists. I am Jay from Unfair Sports. We have Steven from Fanatic Perspective, Ty from Around the Table Sports, as well as Nino from Nino's Corner. Gentlemen, we've got a great slate of games with some newcomers to the actual slate that I'm surprised that we actually have. So we'll dive into those games. We're going to show standings first, go through each game, give you our final picks, and our mortal lots of the week. How are we feeling this week? Look at these standings real quick. What?
Cheating.
This is preposterous. I have complaints.
All things are back right in the world.
Got a lot of work to do.
Cheating.
Just too much.
I own this. I was at once at the top of the mountain, and poor discernment led me now to third. Got to be better.
I don't know if y'all have ever
Last
seen the league.
week was quite brutal for you, my boy. It was a brutal week for all of us.
Seen the league, but I'm from worst to first.
You
Not
are
from first to worst.
Yeah, don't worry. This is probably going to change over the next couple of shows. So we've got about 2 weeks to try to make up ground, and we're going to stop Ty from cheating. So let's jump into our first game of the week. We've got to make some time today. We've got Miami playing against Georgia Tech down there in Atlanta. The Canes are walking in at about 11-point favorites. And I'm going to be honest, that spread dropping's got your boy a little worried. Miami's playing really good ball, but they also like to play very dangerous ball. They like to go out there and play with their food for a bit, and then they pull away at the end. Georgia Tech, though, they like to eat clock. And that's literally all they do is eat clock. They just run the ball nonstop. They just eat the clock. So if Miami is going to win this, in which I did pick Miami to win this one, they're going to have to get the ball out of Georgia Tech's hands quickly. It's going to have to be no more than 6 plays, sometimes 9. But you can't keep letting them go, for 8-minute possessions. You've got to get the ball out their hands. So I'm going to roll with Miami. I think their talent is too rich for what Georgia Tech is. And Georgia Tech's been a great story, but I don't think that they're enough. Steven, who you riding with?
Yeah, I'll make this one short. Give me Miami here. Like I said, everything I said last week about them regarding the Duke game when we were talking about the cover, it applies. They play with their food. This is what they are. But the talent gap that they have on this football team is incredible. And like their quarterback, Cam Ward, they're explosive. They can create a gap. They can go on a run, like a basketball run. That's what they've shown all year. There's no reason to think that lets up. They could be losing this game at halftime. It doesn't matter. They'll come out. They'll go on a run. They'll create 21 points out of nowhere and win this football game.
Ty, who you riding with?
I don't have much to add. I actually love the analysis of saying that this team makes basketball-like runs in Miami. I think that's a perfect way to look at it. Genuinely.
I love it. That's true.
No, I think he hit the nail on the head. Like, that describes this Miami team, and there's no better example than against Duke. This is a very talented team. Georgia Tech, I think, is a good test for Miami because, Jay, what you alluded to, the stylistic matchup styles make fights just like in boxing or UFC. They want to hold the ball. They want to control clock. For Miami, you have a talented defense, and I think that the key for Miami in this game is coming out and scoring early and putting it away quick. You do that, I don't see Georgia Tech coming back. Because of that, I'm taking Miami.
Nino.
Clean sweep. Come fade us. Miami's going to win this game, man. They're going to win it, man. Look, Miami's going to own Atlanta like Luke used to own Atlanta back in the late 80s, early 90s from the Freaknik, man. Look. Easy game for Miami. They're going to win this game. Too much talent for Miami. Georgia Tech doesn't have the talent, man. It is what it is. Miami's going to win it through up to use, baby.
All right, real quick. Total is 63.5. Over or under? I'm going under.
Gen Z's like, what the hell is Freaknik?
Steve, what you got over under? 63.5.
Over.
Ty, what you got over under? 63.5.
I'm gonna go over.
Ooh, Nino, over under.
Same thing, man. I got an over in this too, man.
Wow, I'm the only under on this one. That's wild. Next game, item up for bid. We've got Georgia with the SEC battle in Oxford against Ole Miss. This is a fascinating game. Right now, Georgia is only a 2.5-point favorite. The bets appear to be just very consistent on both sides, so Vegas hadn't had to really change much of anything. But Man, I struggle with this one. This is one of the games of the week. This is going to be a really good matchup for not only Ole Miss, but Georgia. Carson Beck has been giving the ball away a lot. Ole Miss has done a really good job of methodically moving in games. They haven't scored a lot of points up until last week. They figured it out. And Jackson Dart's one of the leaders in the country in yards. Is this Georgia defense going to be able to keep him on his toes? And the other question is, truth be told, is Georgia ready for that Ole Miss defensive line? Because those dudes can ball. I struggled, but I'm going to pick Georgia because it's Lane Kiffin is the head coach of Ole Miss. I think I'm going to stick to my guns here, but I don't know about the Lane train when it comes to that. Give me UGA, and I'm going to ride on that one. Steven, who you got?
So, Jay, you said it, right? I mean, this game, you often make the analogy on our SEC Connect show between James Franklin and Lane Kiffin. And just last week, I was stubborn and I was Booble the Fool, and I picked Penn State, and they got down first and goal from the 3-yard line and refused to give the ball to their best player 4 straight times and lost the football game. Everything was on the table perfectly for them at home. Doesn't this sound like Georgia versus Ole Miss? Opportunity really to get a signature win. The parallels between these two games are ridiculous. But I will not make the same mistake again. I am riding with Kirby Smart and Georgia. The only reason why this is a 2.5-point spread as is because of Carson Beck's nonsense. As long as Carson Beck acts like a normal quarterback and doesn't turn the football over, give me Georgia here to roll.
All right, Ty, who you got?
I'm going Georgia. I think for a lot of the same reasons. When I look at this, Georgia is a team that I just put more faith in. When you have Lane Kiffin, I think we've talked about this on SEC Connect. What's his best win? 2019 A&M. Good win, but what have you done for me lately? I like Ole Miss a lot, but I think Georgia is the team to be able to bring this one home. Georgia, they have the one loss to Alabama. I think the last thing they need is 2 losses in the SEC. They're trying to fight to avoid that. Right now they have the overhead versus Texas, which puts them in the driver's seat right now in the SEC. So I think they handle business. Give me Georgia.
Nino, who you riding with?
Another clean sweep. Come fade us. I got Georgia winning this, man. My mind is telling me to pick, Ole Miss. Ole Miss has one of the top rush defenses in the country. But like we say, folks, man, I think they're like the number 2 ranked rush defense in the country. They can make this a one-dimensional game. And, great thoughts would tell you that if they make this a one-dimensional game, Carson Beck is going to turn the ball over 2, maybe 3 times this game. So my mind's telling me something, but my heart's telling me that Lane Kiffin has never had a signature win since 2019. So look, until he gets a signature win, I'm not rolling with Lane Kiffin to win any big game. Give me Kirby and the Dogs to win this game and cover.
Ooh, man, with the cover. Total is 53.5. So I'm sorry, a little bit less than that, but I digress. Next game, item up for bid. We're sitting with Clemson traveling to Virginia Tech after that awful loss last week to Louisville. The Tigers are a 5.5-point favorite right now with a total of 53.5. Look, I thought Tech was going to be better than what they are today. They came into the season with the most returning players in college football. So usually teams with seniority always have the better seasons. This is usually when they had breakouts. But they didn't give us that. 5-4 so far, 3-2 in conference. Where Clemson lost a game where they had a bye week before. It looks like they just fell asleep behind the wheels. Kind of embarrassing if you want me to be honest. But anyway, I'm still going to pick Clemson. This is a good bounce back opportunity for them. It was a week of bad football for them, but I think they can bounce back in this game as they prepare themselves for a matchup at Pitt, which is going to probably be a determining factor of who goes into the ACC championship game. I'm riding with Clemson on this one. Steven, who you got?
Before I get to this, somebody in the comments said, "Why is Penn State in the Peach Bowl not considered a great win?" Brother, are you serious? Are you, brother, are you? Did you listen to the analogy I just made? Anyway, give me Clemson here. I'm sorry, the comments here. That's why we love interacting with you guys. It's a great interactive platform. Jay, you talked about all the returning starters that Virginia Tech brought back. That's all well and good, but that's good if they're good football players. If you bring back a bunch of scrubs, then
Yikes.
and, I mean, we got to keep it a buck today, man. You bring back a bunch of scrubs.
Goodness
then,
gracious.
Lord have mercy.
That's what happened. They didn't get better.
I'm glad you said it before I did.
Dang, this time who you got? Sheesh. The ether.
I mean, he's not wrong.
He's not, but he didn't have to say it.
Give me Clemson. Listen, you know what happens if Clemson loses this game? They're already unhappy with how that last game went out there. You lose this game, questions are asked. And let's be clear, I don't necessarily think that they deserve to be asked because Dabo has proved to be a coach that you give him the benefit of the doubt. You allow things to go because he brought you 2 natties. He's been at the top of this game. But Louisville took it to him last week. And I was in an environment with SMU where you want to talk about a stadium that was aware of what was happening. When that game was over, they were pumped because they knew our path is there. Clemson's going to rebound this week. Virginia Tech has not been very good. They've been very disappointing. Jay, I was like you. I thought they'd be better. Give me Clemson.
All right, Nino, wrap us up. Clean sweep.
Man, they're going to have to clean sweep and come fade us again. This is 3 in a row, guys. This isn't fun anymore. But anyways, guys, look, Clemson's going to win this game.
Yeah, we're going 0-3.
This is their back in blood game. This is their back in blood game. You know what I'm saying? So they got, like thoroughly embarrassed last week against Louisville. So give me Clemson this. Dabo hasn't forgotten how to coach. He has kind of forgotten how to use the transfer portal, but that's a whole other conversation. But give me Clemson to win this game, man. They will get it back in blood. Clemson wins the game.
All right, well, we're going to fly through this next one because it's probably going to end up being 4-0. We've got Michigan traveling to play the undefeated Indiana Hoosiers.
Wow.
Indiana's a 14.5-point favorite, guys. Look, I know that the jokes out there about Indiana have been that they haven't played anybody. I totally agree. Michigan last year didn't play anybody either. But what were they doing? Just beating the crap out of everybody. And Indiana has shown us they beat everybody by double digits so far. It's not fair at this point. They're just abusing and doing what you're supposed to do when you have an easy schedule. They're beating the crap out of everybody. Backup quarterback, be damned. Backup or starter, they're beating the crap out of them. Give me Indiana. I'm just going to make that quick. Michigan can't throw the ball. Indiana can do everything they want in this game. Give me the Hoosiers. I am surprised. Wow. And they just popped them all up. Steven, who you got?
Wow. Well, hey, y'all know what it is. Jay said they haven't played anybody. That's still the case here. They haven't played anybody. So, we can keep on with that narrative here for this week because, it is what it is with Michigan. Again, keeping it a buck Friday. Indiana, by the way, Curtis Rourke came back the other week, looked good, healthy. And again, Indiana's defense is just so underrated. What they're doing both against the run and the pass, they've been sensational in the Big Ten. Keep it going. Keep the party going for Indiana.
Ty.
Yeah, I'm really excited about this game because, like I said earlier, styles make fights. I'm excited to see what Michigan's going to be able to do rushing the ball against this Indiana defense that has proved to be very good against the run. But to Steven's point, I don't think you've had a great slate of competition. And I don't exactly think that it's going to start this week, but I do think that Michigan has some players that can really play high-quality football, some of their running backs, some of the pieces on that defense. So this is going to be a nice game for Indiana. I'm taking Indiana, like their coach said, yellow page me. Find me in that Rolodex, right? But I think they continue to roll.
Hey, Ty, somebody in the comments last week said, hit me with the Ask Jeeves me. If y'all remember Ask Jeeves
me.
Hit him with that web crawler. Nino, what's your analysis before we move on to the next game?
I think Caitlin, she already put the picks down for us. So look, man, Indiana's going to win this game, man. They're going to beat Michigan. Yeah. Indiana's rush defense is the top in the country, only allowed about 70 yards rushing the game. Give me Indiana because, man, Michigan is a very 1D team, one-dimensional team, man. And so I like Indiana to win this game at home, man. Pretty easy.
All right, let's fly through this next game. We've got the Colorado Buffs traveling to Lubbock, Texas, in their quest for the Big 12 championship game to play against Texas Tech's Red Raiders. Right now, Colorado is a 4-point favorite in this game. And look, the Buffs are balling. I'm just going to make it simple. Travis Hunter, both sides of the ball. Hunter snaps a game, and he's elite on both sides. I think he is top 3 in grades for PFF as a wide receiver and a corner. That's absurd. That's absurd.
Top 5.
Top 5. He's top 5 in both. Absurd.
Which is
Give me Colorado, and I don't think it's close. I think they blow out Texas Tech. Even though Texas Tech's run game is good, I don't think it's close. Steven, who you got?
I'm going with the upset here.
No, you're not.
Texas Tech in Lubbock, Road Dogs. I don't know why. I don't like it. Look. I love Colorado and what Deion's doing. The bowl eligible. I feel like, look, everybody looking like I've gone against the people. Look, we just go act like Texas Tech didn't just beat Iowa State. That was undefeated. Like Texas Tech got some skins on the wall. They turned Iowa State was undefeated. Are we going to? That was a good win. Was it not? See, this is the reason.
Does Iowa State have Shadur Sanders and Travis Hunter?
All right. Hey, I'm already down bad, right? We're talking to the guy that was 3-8 last week. Okay, so fade me. All right, fade me, David.
Fade, yeah. Ty, who you got?
You know, he's not wrong. Texas Tech did have a good win last week. But I'm going to tell you exactly why I'm not going to pick them, because this is the same Texas Tech team that allowed Baylor to score how many points? 59? 59 points against Baylor? Nah, Colorado's going to do what they want, I think, against Texas Tech. Give me the Buffs.
All right, Nino, wrap us up. That's bananas.
Man, give me them Buffaloes, man. Go Buffs, baby. Look here, man. Texas Tech. Last time I heard, it was all roads from the Big 12 run through Lubbock. Not this year, not so fast, my friend. Colorado's going to come in there. They're going to handle business, own business down there in Lubbockis, Texas. And give me Sanders, who is the best quarterback in D1 right now, should be a top 5 pick in the draft this year. Give me Travis Hunter, who I believe should be the Heisman Trophy winner this year. Like I said before, he is playing at an absurd level on offense and defense. Colorado wins this game, and look, man, it won't be close, folks. It won't be close at all. Give me the Buffs.
Oh. All right, next game. Now, this one was wild to me. We have Iowa State, as we're just talking about, who just lost to Texas Tech, traveling to Kansas City, not Lubbock, not Lawrence, Kansas, but Kansas City to play Arrowhead Stadium against the Kansas Jayhawks. It's a quote-unquote neutral site game, but it's a home game for the Jayhawks because they don't have a football stadium right now. Iowa State's only a 3-point favorite. Kansas is 2-6. Iowa State is 7-1, and they're only a 3-point favorite. Dog, I am concerned about my pick now. I picked Iowa State, but sheesh, they might lose this game. This does not sound good. So I'm going to go with Iowa State. They're the better team. They should win this one. Lance Leipold's having a bad year. You can see he's missing AK right now, but I digress. Iowa State, hopefully they don't embarrass me in public. Steven, who you got?
I have Iowa State here, but to your point, Jay, the drama right now on the CW network, what is the Big 12 conference, is unbelievable. They have really matched it up. I mean, this is peak Gilmore Girls. This is peak Flash, all of it going on in the Big 12. Because when you look at Kansas versus Kansas State, that game was way closer. And then Kansas State went and lost to Houston, by the way, which made us look bad. True. So let's keep it. Let's keep all this in mind of what is happening in the Big 12. That's why I think I'm not out of line with thinking that Texas Tech might beat Colorado this week. It's not far-fetched. But, hey, they sleeping on you, Joey. Hear them out, Joey. They sleeping on you, brother. But, hey, in this one, I think Iowa State pulls it out. I do think this game is going to be close, though.
All right, Ty, who you got?
I got Iowa State. I'm like y'all, though. Something's weird with this line. I don't know what it is. I don't know why Iowa State isn't favored by more, but it is what it is, right? I think they handle business. But I do want to talk to Texas Tech is curse. Saying zero analysis, just Colorado glazing. I'll give you some analysis. Colorado can throw the ball all around the football field. Texas Tech couldn't stop a Pop Warner team from throwing the football around the field. Texas Tech is ranked number 132 in the nation in passing yards allowed. You gave up 59 to Baylor. Keep it moving.
Yeah. The ether, they make your soul burn slow.
Nino,
slow. Who you got?
I got Iowa State, man. Come fade us. And to that same comment, yes, look, we just don't want to talk too bad about Texas Tech, right? They're in the great state of Texas. I'm a Texas resident, but Ty, hey, you open up a can of worms with having Ty coming there and pull them stats on your butt and your behind. But look here, man, I got Iowa State winning this, man. Come fade us. Last week's game was, I think, an eye-opener for them. I think they're going to realize we can't play down to the competition this year. Well, this week, they play up to the Iowa State standard, and I think they win this game here going into Kansas.
All right, we got 3 more games up, and we're going to go ahead. And this one is a critical one. This is the other game of the week, especially because it's out of the SEC. We've got the Alabama Crimson Tide traveling to Death Valley to play against LSU. The Tide are 2.5-point favorites on the road right now. And LSU is bringing a live tiger, a younger one, on the sidelines. I don't know how good that is. But statistically, the guy that actually handles said tiger has only lost 2 of them in his possession in his lifetime. Do with that as you may. This one's going to be an intriguing game because this is the game that Brian Kelly needs. He needs that big signature win like this to help his argument towards the SEC championship game. But at the same time, Kellen DeBoer needs this one just as much. Both teams are in desperation mode to go for the SEC championship game. They both have to win this game. I think it's going to be a lot closer than we expect. I just looked at the injury report for LSU. It's literally longer than a CVS receipt. I did not realize they had this many dudes out. I thought Oklahoma was bad. Jeez Louise, they actually got us beat right now. This is bad. Give me Alabama. I think the Crimson Tide go out there and win it. I think that they win it close, but I think they do win it. I think Caden Durham does give Alabama nightmares because the run defense has not been the best this year, and losing Keon Saab, ooh, that's painful. But I think Bama's got some players in place to work it. Give me the Tide. Steven, who you got?
I think this is a game that's going to frustrate both fan bases during the game. And Ty, make sure you have your Rolaids or whatever you need, whatever peptides you need to get you through it, man, because I wouldn't want to be in your shoes for this. I mean, when you think about it, the blunders that Alabama's had throughout the season, the stuff that's just goofiness. But then on the LSU side, you have the special teams blunders, the fact that a coach wasn't aware that another quarterback had started 4 games and didn't prepare for the guy, just had no plan for him. This is the stuff we're dealing with in this particular matchup. Now, there's also a lot of talent on the field. I think there's a good quarterback matchup between Garrett Nussmeier and Jalen Milroe. I think Alabama is going to be a little bit better down the end of the stretch of the game. I look at Ryan Williams making a couple plays down at the end of the game. Those guys, maybe Milroe using his legs just to get it over by the slightest bit of margin. I hate picking against LSU at night in Death Valley. I really, really do. But I just can't trust LSU after some of the stuff I've seen. I need to see Brian Kelly actually coaching instead of screaming at people. So give me Bama.
Ty, give us that Bama analysis.
Yeah, this is a great game. And I forget who it was, but they were talking about LSU at night in Death Valley. Like, they have an unreal record. But when you look at their losses, a lot of them are to Bama. For whatever reason, as great as this venue is, this is a venue, and you talk to guys like Matt Caddell, Chris James, guys who played for the Crimson Tide, guys who played in that stadium. I do a show with them. They were saying that Bama views this game different. Like, they are pumped to go to Death Valley in a manner that they don't feel with other stadiums. And I think that's a credit to Death Valley. That's a credit to LSU. Alabama has a top 15 passing efficiency defense right now, which is crazy when you consider the youth in that secondary. Bama's defensive front is peaking right now. LT Overton is top 10 in the nation in pressures, and now he's starting to get home. He's converting pressure and close to being able to get sacks. I think Bama's defense showed up in that Missouri game where they could have had Missouri score, and instead the starters ran back out there on the 4th and goal to stop Missouri. I think that was a catalyst for the season. If you take out the 80 yards Missouri got in that drive, Missouri got less than 80, or I think they got less than 90 yards rushing on that game. Give me Alabama. I think this game is going to be incredibly close. I really like what LSU has offensively. I think the NFL scouts everywhere are going to be watching Damani Jackson, Kyron Lacey, LT Overton, Will Campbell. Those are money matchups right now, and someone's going to make a lot of money here in the near future. I got a lot of respect for LSU, but the thing I have is their defense. We just saw them get exposed by Reed. Milroe has had a week off to get healthy, and Milroe has proven to be better at passing the ball up to this point in their career. Based off what we saw against Georgia, I like Alabama because of the ability for Milroe to be dual threat.
There we go, Nino. Who you got?
I think we're all kind of reading, like my notes, and Ty's reading Steven's notes, and Jay's reading Steven's notes, and because I got Alabama winning this game too, man, which means that somebody's gonna have to come fade us, and it means that LSU's probably gonna win this game. But look, this is my reason why I have Alabama winning this game. LSU's rush defense is like 50th in the nation right now. And also when they face rushing quarterback, Sellers from South Carolina, he ate them up, 10 carries for 88 yards. That's including sacks, folks. That's including sack yardage. Marcel Reed last week, 9 carries for 62, 65 yards or so, and he played about half a game, right? And so Jalen Milroe is those two guys on steroids. And not only is he those two guys on steroids, he has playmakers all around him that can go make plays every damn play of the game. Ryan Williams, Law. He just has a bunch of talent, a plethora of talent that Sellers and Reed do not have. Give me Alabama to win this game because I like the dual threat ability of Jalen Milroe, and I think that he's going to have an outstanding game, and he is going to have his Superman powers coming out against LSU.
I like that.
Hey, one more thing. I think Bama's top 5 in the nation in takeaways right now.
Yep.
There you go.
So that's something to watch in this game. That'll be big.
That's going to be a fascinating one. All right, we got 2 more games left, and we're going to go to these big spreads. So let's fly through these last 2 because I don't know of just how hard it is going to be to talk about these. We've got Washington traveling out there to Happy Valley to play against Penn State over at State College. The Nittany Lions are 13.5-point favorites, which is exactly what you expect. That's the spread I would expect out of a game like this, especially cross country. Washington traveling across country to a stadium that's dang near impossible to get to. It's really hard to get to University Park, Pennsylvania. Like really hard. Mm-hmm. You're flying somewhere, probably Hattiesburg. Then you got to get on a bus for about 2 hours or so. It's a trek. Give me Penn State to win this game. They did the bounce back bad. Washington has been playing really good ball with Jetfish, but this is a bounce back game that I'd say that James Franklin is really good at doing. I don't think Penn State fans are going to be happy about this because they would probably prefer that James Franklin lose a few more times so that Andy Koltanecki can take the job away from him. But give me Penn State. Steven, give us your analysis on why Penn State.
I mean, as you again see here, I picked Penn State reluctantly.
Reluctantly.
F you, James Franklin. F you, man. I mean... People had high hopes, man. People came to that game last week with courage, man. And y'all play anyway. Penn State's better than Washington. He beats teams like this. He wins games like this. All of a sudden, they're gonna have courage to throw the ball to their playmakers and feature people. All of a sudden, Tyler Warren's gonna get the ball again.
Yeah.
Give me Penn State.
Ty, who you got? Why you got Penn State? Let's put it that way.
Well, because Washington's not a top 10 team. James Franklin can't beat anybody ranked. He can't. His record reflects it.
Good point.
And so, yeah, he's going to beat him. And in saying that, before, Nino, I give it to you, I am impressed with Jed Fish at Washington. I think he has done fairly well, and there have been games where they lost where I thought they actually played good football. They lost a lot of talent last year. So I think if you're a Husky fan, even though this year isn't going as well as you probably would like, I think that you have to be hopeful about the future. But I like Penn State in this game because they're not ranked.
Nino, why'd you pick Penn State?
Like I said, we got Penn State. Kind of the same reason that Ty's saying this is not a signature win. Even though, hey, let's get off James Franklin a little bit. He does have a couple signature wins under his belt during his tenure there at Penn State. But honestly, folks, just to kind of talk about this for a little bit. Penn
During
State
the Obama administration.
hey, he has more than Lane Kiffin.
His first term.
But look, man, Penn State is sitting in the perfect situation here where they can win out and miss going to the Big Ten championship game and slide in real easy into their playoffs. I think they're in the perfect situation. They're going to win out here. And I don't think Washington, like pretty much has the talent just to kind of stack up with them. They got a great defense and a great running game. And like you said, Steven, I think he's going to finally realize to use that running game. So give me Penn State to win this game. I look for them to win out for the entire season. I look for them to go into the playoffs without having to go play the Big Ten championship in a very easy, good spot for Penn State.
And I repeat to the knucklehead earlier, no, Ole Miss in the Peach Bowl is not a signature win. Continue, Jay.
All right. Next game, we're going to move on. We got BYU playing against Utah in the Holy War, Salt Lake City. BYU is now only a 2.5-point favorite. Look, I was nervous. This line opened at 5, and then it's been dropping steadily. There's a reason why. Vegas does not like BYU in this game as much as we thought they would, even though BYU's undefeated. Man, I struggled with this game, no lie, but I roll with BYU. I don't trust Utah right now with how bad their offense has been. They lost to Houston 17-14 last. They had a bye week, 17-14. Then they lost to TCU 13-7. What? Give me BYU. Steven, who you got?
This is beautiful because I was hoping you didn't pick Utah, because then if I had picked Utah and you pick Utah, we down bad, because that never works for Jay and I. Only go to head up.
Not.
So give me Utah here.
Ooh.
I've already picked against BYU and looked goofy once, so I'm not afraid to do it anymore. Again, Captain 3-8 from last week talking. Give me Utah here. Look, this is going to be Utah's had a disappointing season. They're 1-4 in the Big 12. This is all they got left. Beat your beat your Utah brethren. We all we got. We all we need. Okay, so you know what would make this season better is ruining BYU's season and chances of being undefeated and some of their playoff hopes. Not overall because the Big 12 championship and whatnot, but give me Utah here to play spoiler at home. BYU won the last game, but before that, Kyle's really dominated this series and rivalry over the last decade. So I think Utah's going to give you a y'all must have forgot performance.
Roy Jones.
Tyler, you got?
Listen, I've rode BYU to first place. I'm not going to turn my back on them now. But to Steven's point, I was talking to somebody yesterday that's very familiar with this matchup. In fact, has been in, I believe, the locker room of both teams. Really understands the psychological aspect of this game. This game means everything to Utah. And when I said, yes, sir, I'm picking BYU, he hit me with that not so fast. I think BYU is the better team. I think BYU has been more consistent. They have more going for them. But Utah, for them, I'm not saying the season would be a success, but they will look at this season totally differently if they get this one win. To them, everything is a little bit different. Not saying it's great, but it will be viewed differently if Utah plays spoiler. I can't turn my back on BYU. I'm taking BYU because I think the logical argument says BYU, but this is a rivalry game. Throw all logic out the window. I'm just going with the team that's taking me to first place.
Nino.
Give me BYU. And my reason for saying this is I think BYU is the most complete team in that, well, not in that conference. They're the most complete team that's going to line up on the field on Saturday. They don't have all the players. They don't have all the talent, but I just think they're just a better coached team out there. And that's saying a lot because I love Utah's coach. Whittingham is a hell of a coach. But they got a lot of injuries, man. Not having Cam Rising, he's in and out. So not having Cam there as well. We say BYU hasn't played anybody. But guess what? That SMU win looks very good right now, doesn't it? That 18-15 win in week 2 looks very good right now, considering the run that SMU has had and that they might be, spoiler alert, here also in the ACC. And also, man, Utah's lost, 4 in a row right now? So this could be a spoiler alert for BYU. I think I'm kind of talking myself out of this game. But give me BYU because I have rolled with them too as well. I have Steven, I've rode with
I did
BYU
that.
the entire season. I can't turn my back on BYU right
They
now.
don't even believe in what they picking. This is crazy.
I did that this week, dog. Hey,
They
man.
have been good to me.
Look,
They have been good
they
to
have
me,
been
man.
good to us.
You know what I'm saying?
Look,
They have
and
been
Nino's
good to
even
me.
wearing blue and white, man. We not gonna
Hey,
leave wearing
they
Dodger
have
blue
been
and
good
white.
to me
We gotta
this
ride
year,
with
man.
it.
Give me BYU. I'm not going to be the dude that this is the girl that held him down when, like, during this whole bid for 15 years. When he gets out and sees something sexier, he leaves her. I'm not leaving you BYU this week. Next week against Colorado, I am though. But this week, I got you in Utah.
Damn, Nino over here looking like West Side Connect. That's crazy.
Ain't he? All right, we're gonna go a lightning round of spreads. We're gonna fly through these bad boys real quick.
foul.
We've got 15 seconds each. We ready? Let's get it. Purdue traveling to Columbus, Ohio to play Ohio State. Purdue's a 38-point freaking dog in this game. Jeez Louise. I'm picking Purdue to cover this. Ohio State just doesn't go out and blow out anybody. They've yet to really do it. Give me Purdue to cover this spread, even though Purdue's awful. They're probably going to lose this game 35-0, but it'll be 35-0. It won't be 38. Steven.
I'm going Ohio State only because every time, the only game I've gotten right on spreads with Ohio State is the Marshall game. Everything else I've been on the opposite side. So I went on the opposite end of my emotions. I do think that Chip Kelly, looking at what Chip Kelly did though last week against Penn State, all of Ohio State's touchdowns are scheme touchdowns. They are just scheming people wide the hell open, man. And I like some of the run game stuff. So give me Ohio State here to cover, but I'll probably be wrong. So who knows?
All right. Ty.
Ohio State's going to beat Purdue like a drum, but I don't think they're going to beat them by 38 points. When I saw that, I was like, there's some games to be played yet. I think they're going to get out to like a 28-point lead and then kind of coast to the finish line. And Jay, I think you hit the nail. I could see a 35-point victory. They're going to be by far and about the better team, but 38, that's a tall order. I get a little uneasy anytime I see a spread this big.
All right, Nino.
Hey, man, give me Ohio State, man. The Fighting Hudson Cards over there, at Purdue. They're going to Ohio State. Smith's a beast. They have a great running game. I just got a feeling Ohio State's going to put a can of you-know-what on them. They kind of got last week kind of squeaked through with that win. I think this is going to be one of those games where they kind of prove themselves, man. So give me Ohio State to cover this game. I'm not really confident on it, but I'll take Ohio State.
All right, next game. We've got Texas hosting Florida. The Gators are walking in here as a 22.5-point. Oh, I got them at 14. It's all gone up. It's gone up even higher. But at 14 is what we're listening in right now.
21.
It's 22. It's 22.5. It's flying up because we don't know if Lagway is going to play in this game. Yeah, I picked Texas to cover this spread. Florida's not healthy. They're not healthy in the wrong ways. They ain't got no quarterback. Texas. Steven, who you got?
Yeah, the spread. I got Texas covering here as well. Look, my message to Billy Napier, who just looks like he got an endorsement that he's going to remain the head coach. So congrats to him. My thing is, you don't got to act like Bud Kilmer from Varsity Blues, bro. Sit Lagway down. He doesn't need to take the shot. Don't let him take the shot, okay? Sit the brother down. Do what's right. Okay, the brother was carted off last week. I know it's intoxicating after what you saw against Georgia when you felt like you had a chance. But don't do this. Protect the young man from himself. Let Aiden Warner go out there and get his beating and move forward.
Ty.
I completely agree. You have got a quarterback that we said last week that DJ Lagway was going to be a quarterback next year. Teams didn't want to play. And I kind of said, hey, I think he's going to be a quarterback this year. Teams don't want to play. I think that's where he is. That young man is very gifted. Unfortunate he got hurt, but I completely agree with Steven. Sit him. He has got a real bright future. You already had the toughest schedule I've ever seen. I like Texas to win this game. I like Texas to cover the spread. So give me the horns in this one.
Yeah, that spread is ballooning. It's going to get even worse. Nino.
Yeah. Texas fight, baby. Texas is going to cover this, man. Like you said, Lagway might not play, and if Lagway doesn't play, the Texas defense, which is the number one defense in the country, is going to pin their ears back and get to that that second-year quarterback from Yale. All right, and so it's going to happen. Colin Simmons is going to have a huge game this game. If that happens, man, give me Texas to cover this game.
All right, we ain't got much analysis on these next two games. We've got Florida State, PU, playing against Notre Dame. Notre Dame's a 26.5-point favorite. I think Notre Dame covers this spread. Florida State can't even score. Their problem is they can't get over 20 points in a game. Give me Notre Dame for a blowout, just like they did Purdue. Steven?
I've been off on spreads all year, so let's keep the party going. Give me FSU for vibes.
Vibes.
To cover. I think. Okay. All right. Let me give some analysis here. Real quick.
Who you got?
That's unacceptable.
Tyler, who you got?
No more.
Hold on. I gotta.
For vibes.
I almost want to give him some time to.
No, Tyler, who you got?
Okay, yeah.
You don't deserve
me Notre Dame. Florida State. Do they even play football this year? I mean, I don't quite know. They have been an utter disappointment. And Notre Dame's a solid team. Give me Notre Dame to cover this.
Oh,
Nino, wrap us up.
Hey, man, Notre Dame's got this,
said
man.
vibes.
Florida State is totally
vibes.
outmatched, and they got $70 million buyout that they can't afford right now. Notre Dame's going to kick their butts.
All right, perfect. Last game, we've got Mississippi State traveling to Knoxville to play against Tennessee. Tennessee is a 24.5-point favorite. Tennessee does not blow anybody out that is actually got a pulse. I've got Mississippi State covering this spread. Their offense is actually pretty solid. They put up points. They just can't play defense. They're the worst one of the worst defenses in the country, but their offense actually does put up points. So it's going to be tough for Tennessee to stop them from putting up enough numbers to cover that 24.5. I think Tennessee scores 30, but they'll probably score at least 10. Give me Mississippi State to cover that spread. Steven, another vibe pick?
Yeah. No, this is. I got Mississippi State covering. However, they, like you said, they put up points. I think Tennessee actually breaks 30, like you said, but they'll have a little bit more. Look, all I'm saying is, bro, is it not crazy if Notre Dame wins like 24-3, bro? Like, that's all I'm saying. Like,
that's a vibe.
There's too much respect for Florida State's defense. Ty, who you got?
That's going to be one of my favorite moments of the year is picking FSU because of the vibes. Like that's an all-timer this year. In this game right here, I'm like y'all. Give me Mississippi State to cover. If this spread was 21, I actually probably would have gone Tennessee, but they just haven't. They haven't been pouring the points on like that. And I do agree. Michael Van Buren, very fun to watch. Really excited to see what his future holds. And Mississippi State, they do have an offense, but they only ever trot out 11 guys at a time. They seemingly forget to bring the defense to the game.
Ooh, that's not good, Nino.
Come fade is Mississippi State. They're going to cover, man. Tennessee, like you said, hasn't blown out anybody this entire year. They look good playing, but they just haven't really blown out anybody besides those first three games against, Northern Iowa, School of the Catholic Mind. So other than that, man, give me Mississippi State to cover this game.
All right. Mortal Locks. This is a good one. All right. Mine, real quick. I looked at this spread and said this is ridiculous. This team has traveled cross country numerous times, and they have not done good in any of their cross country games for the most part. They lost to Florida State. I picked Wake Forest +7 in this game. I think that they cover the spread easily against Cal. I don't see that there's even a chance that Cal goes out there and beats them by more than a touchdown. If they win, which will be miraculous, they do not win by more than a score. Steven, who you got?
Pull up, Jay. I got Mizzou money line. Look, I know you got receivers coming back, brother. I know you got. I heard Burks is coming back. You've been paying these brothers to not play up, allegedly. They've been sitting on the couch with you and me watching the games, but apparently they want to get a check again and come back. All alleged, by the way, all alleged. But I do think that Coach Drinkowitz and this Missouri football team that is still in the mix, they only have 2 SEC losses. This is a must-win game for Missouri. At home, y'all are home dogs. You cannot allow Oklahoma to come in there and dictate a run game all of a sudden that they all of a sudden drummed up against Maine. If that happens, then we have some serious questions for Coach Drink. Give me Mizzou money line in this game over OU.
I respect.
Sorry, Jay.
Them vibes are crazy. I'm taking Syracuse over Boston College because this is the weirdest line I saw all weekend. Boston College is favored by a point. Give me Syracuse money line. Syracuse has been playing good football, and sure, we can have some questions about them, but and this is not a knock on Boston College. I just think Syracuse is better. Kyler Murray is a very, very good quarterback, but I think Syracuse is going to come out and handle business.
All right, Nino, who's your money line? Who's your mortal lock of the week?
My mortal lock. This is going out to all my veterans out there here on Veterans Day weekend, man. As being an Air Force guy, those Navy midshipmen, man, I think they're going to travel down to South Florida, and they are going to win that game. They are favored by 2.5 right now. They're going to win that game, and they're going to win by more than 3 points. Give me my Navy midshipmen. I'm an Air Force guy, but Navy, I will rock with you today. Travel down to South Florida, beat South Florida, go to 7-2, and have an opportunity to play in a big bowl game this year. Happy Veterans Day.
Well, there we have it. Let's look at the final picks for the week so the people knows what to fade. Woo, buddy. We had a long slate today, but hey, we was able to get through it in record time. And of course, with the standings that we saw at the beginning, Ty is still cheating his way to the top. So, I won't complain too much. But hey, thank y'all for pulling up to the College Football Prediction Roundtable presented here on the Bleacher Report app. For Steven, Ty, and Nino, and your boy Jay, we will see you next week with another slate. Yeah, have a good weekend. And some vibes.